Real Madrid in their second year appearing at this competition. They have Ribera in goal from right to left on that back line. Marcos, Santos, Javi Dominguez, and Julio in the midfield from right to left. Alvaro and Neco, Dotor and Franco, and the two up top, Latasa and Vasi, the two dangerous strikers for this Real Madrid team. This is the second day of competition here for these two teams in Group C. And NYCFC, of course, that tough performance in the first game, so they know they need a win here as we get kicked off.
David, that kickoff is a good cue to talk about something important for this game, and that's the wind. We've talked about it a lot this week, but right now NYCFC has the wind at their back. Real Madrid is playing into the wind, so we look at that goal kick. We say, why did they just pound it out of bounds? And that's because now Real Madrid has to try and attack into the wind as an opportunity to press. And NYCFC will feel going into this game that some of their best attacks will come by winning the ball in good spots.
We have seen some incredible soccer here today. LA Galaxy and Monaco battling here on this field just a few minutes ago. The Galaxy, it looked like going toe-to-toe, but they end up falling 4-1. And you look at this NYCFC team and what happens to them in the first game, big moments, understanding how to get out of trouble, how to keep your team alive in a tournament. MLS teams at times have struggled. International teams have really taken advantage with that killer edge.
It's one thing we've known about American and Canadian teams for a while, that in terms of footballing ability, the American and Canadian teams can match toe-to-toe. It's recognition of these key moments and understanding the gamesmanship that goes into getting the points and not just playing nice soccer.
I mentioned the red card. Justin Hack, the starting central midfielder, the number 8 on this team, who really controls the pace of play as this header goes just wide of the goal early on.
And this is the exact pattern that Real Madrid did to SKC multiple times 2 days ago. When they get it wide, it's a floated ball to the middle or back part of the goal to Latasa, who rises and takes the header at goal.
This NYCFC team controlled possession in their first game against Atletico Paranaense. Chance to break in here, a goal, the slide tackle made there by Benalcazar. Sporting KC and Atletico Paranaense going head-to-head just a few minutes ago. Paranaense snuck out with a 1-0 win as the offside flag goes up. Mark Alton, our head official, Eric Elliott and John Krill, our 2 assistants, and Kevin Broadley, our 4th official. So Paranaense out in front in the group. NYCFC needs 3 points here. So it'll be a 70-minute game to 35 minutes halves. 5 subs available for both teams. If we end the regular and stoppage time tied, we will go to penalty kicks. 2 points for a PK win, 1 point for a penalty kick loss. Mirkovic spraying that ball wide.
As we see NYCFC get into their possession base, they lost the first game, but they dominated possession. They had 66% of the ball throughout the game, and it's a trend they've tried to do throughout their season in the Development Academy. So far in games, they've had about an average of 60% possession throughout the year. Their team predicated on keeping the ball and developing their attack through playing defeat.
This just the second year at this competition for NYCFC as they build their academy from scratch. But last year, they won the Premier Division, coming in with arguably the youngest team in this competition, as they started about a U15 team and played them up so that these players could have a few years to build the academy behind them. And they were immediately impressive. I mentioned a couple U.S. youth internationals on this squad. A team drawn from all across the tri-state area, across the 5 boroughs, as well as Jersey, Connecticut, and Westchester. NYCFC, they've signed 2 homegrowns so far. A corner taken short early. Mirkovic now. His left-footed ball floated in, alive in the box. And now Madrid will look to counter. Petkovic in chase. He's not able to close. Now Benalcazar comes over to help. Good run there from Marcos, the right back, to switch the point of play.
Nicely defended by Petrovic. He tracked the runner, and then once he got the runner into a certain spot, he held the pocket along with Benalcazar. Good body shape and angles by Petrovic defending.
NYCFC now in possession. Switch to the field there. Jocelyn. Joe Scally, as we mentioned, was in consideration to make the bench for the first team yesterday in New England. Game that Abdul Salam started at right back, and NYCFC ended up drawing 2-2. It's been a hot start for them to this Major League Soccer season. A free kick will go in favor of Real Madrid. Bobby, the nerves, the excitement playing a team like this. How do you talk to your team going into a matchup like this, whether you're talking about that 3-0 loss or you're talking about facing off against Real?
At this point, it's going to be all about building belief. They've already done the tactical and technical work for the 360 days prior to this tournament, David. Rodrigo Marion, the head coach for NYCFC, would have more made it about the mental and emotional aspects to give them the confidence that they can go out and make up the goal deficit that they lost 2 days ago.
Now, the bulk of this team went to a tournament at Real Madrid last year, which they felt like they were one of the better teams at, so a little bit of a chance to get the shine off there for these young players to believe that they can play at that level. And as I said, they won the Premier Division last year against a host of international squads. That one will go off the head there of Katasa. Out for NYCFC. We'll get some other results your way as they come. Games happening at the same time here. Some games that have just finished. Benalcazar heads that one over to the right. Scally back to his goalkeeper's feet in Rando. Mirkovic. Turned over, now a chance for Alvaro to get on the ball. Turnover in favor for NYCFC. Raisizi cuts in. Looks to scoop that ball into the path of Jimenez, who can't quite save it.
It didn't come off, but a nice pattern by NYCFC right there. Raisizi comes in, Jimenez reads the space that he's vacating wide to the channel. A heavy ball with the wind, but encouraging signs from NYCFC early on to be both sharp defensively and good ideas in the counter.
Petkovic with that ball. Bobby, we see early on NYCFC playing in possession, controlling the pace of the game. How do they turn that into dangerous opportunities?
At this point in the early minutes, it's about feeling the other team. NYCFC shouldn't feel a huge need to turn out chances early on. At this point, it's setting Real Madrid up for the next 60, 65 minutes to understand where they want to defend, where they don't want to defend, so that in the next 60 minutes they can ease Real Madrid into those situations, and then the possession play kicks in.
It looks like Gio Reyna playing out wide right now, and Jonathan Jimenez swapping into the middle to start this game. Reyna playing out wide a bulk of his minutes with the U.S. youth national teams, but playing as either a number 10 or more likely a false 9 with this NYCFC team, which, Bobby, is as fun to watch as any positioning in this tournament.
It absolutely is, and Gio Reyna going wide has to do with Joe Scally coming back. Joe Scally is as much a playmaker at right back as he is a defender at right back. So with Joe Scally getting wide on that channel, it allows Gio Reyna to tuck in and basically play the 10 position from the wide area.
Reyna goes short to Petkovic. His left-footed cross played in, headed away by Katasa.
Smart from NYCFC right there. Change the angle so that you can use the wind and bend it right in on goal from a wider area.
Now corner kick coming. The wind blowing from behind the NYCFC goal from right to left. NYCFC in their dark blues with the orange piping. Real Madrid in the all whites. Looking very Blanco out here for this one. Our head official, Mark Alton, saying that enough is enough. Right-footed corner comes into the far post. Bounces just too far for everyone, and it'll roll out for a goal kick.
That didn't come off for New York City, but they're going to remember that. Real Madrid's defensive setup on these corner kicks is one of their center backs at the near post zone, another center back right in the middle of the goal zone. It vacates the back post. Nobody took that spot, so NYCFC will remember that the ball made it all the way through, and if they attack the back post on future corner kicks, they could find a goal.
Ball flicked on here. Good battle. Vasi comes away with it. Back to Marcos. And the clearance put out for a first Real Madrid corner kick from Mirkovic. So it'll be taken here by Alvaro. Probably the highest rated player on this Real Madrid youth team. A left-footed cross, alive in the middle of the box. And that shot will go wide and handled from Rando before it goes out. Now he'll let the numbers push up. NYCFC, as Bobby mentioned, had the bulk of possession in the first half before getting hit on the counterattack for a goal. They had the bulk of possession in the second half before the red card to Hack. And then they continued trying to push for goals. And they ended up giving up a set piece and a penalty kick to lose 3-0 in that one.
Now that we're a few minutes into the game, it's given Gio Reyna, it's given Jason time to try and find the pockets. Both are known as very intelligent players. So NYCFC has had a slow build-up through the first few minutes, but now that their attacking players have had time to read the situation, expect them to pick it up and go a little faster and try and find their attacking players in the pockets.
Benalcazar on the wrong side here. Katasa gets the shot away, but it's saved. And now Scally will scamper it away.
Great save. Rando, a taller goalie, but got down to his side very well.
And you got to like, Bobby, he pushes that one wide, as you see here on the replay. Benalcazar, unfortunate to be behind there on Katasa off the deflection. And Rando makes the big save, and Scally pushes it away.
Quick restart taken, almost caught NYCFC out. Fortunate that the referee's going to call it back.
Should not. Let him play, Bobby. Let him play fast.
I'm with you. Quick transitions are the key to good soccer.
Yeah, I mean, crossing is impossible, and right, there should never be free kicks taken in the box, so let him play quick. Let's play.
Against the wind, Real Madrid's opting for an outswinger. They're going to try and put it somewhere between the 6 and the penalty spot to try and tease NYC goalkeeper Rando out of his goal.
Javi and Santos, the center backs, have come up. Latasa bringing height as well. It goes to Latasa. Headed away there. Negrete gets to that last ball. Another chance coming. Just south of 15 minutes played here. 35-minute half, 70-minute game for these teams.
Look for Latasa, the middle to back part of the goal. He's very good in these situations.
It's still alive in the box. A second chance here for Javi. And that one deflected, but Bobby, their head coach Rodrigo Marian talked to us specifically about their struggles with set pieces offensively and defensively in the last game. That low hit corner bounces through the box.
Yeah, when a ball bounces through the box like that, David, it's poor execution. You can do all the X's and O's you want on a whiteboard, but if you let little fundamentals like that, like not attacking the ball, you're going to lose games.
Bekovic there into the feet of Reyna. Now Negrete coming forward. Mirkovic for Benalcazar. Chance to counter. Once again, Latasa is wide open and he can't find a teammate. But Bobby, right now, your number 9 is somehow finding wide open gaps and channels to run into.
Yeah, it's a clear game plan from Real Madrid today. They're going to sit deep and let the possession team, New York, open themselves up. They've got faith that they can lock New York's possession down and hit them on the counter through Latasa.
Sporting KC wasn't able to take advantage, but Bobby, this is an NYCFC team that's much more comfortable with the ball, much more comfortable moving a defense around than Sporting KC, who's much more direct.
So in these opening minutes, the fact that they are struggling and Real Madrid is getting the counterattacks won't stress a team like NYCFC out. They've got a long-term game plan with their possession. They understand it's a 70-minute game, and they don't need to break Real Madrid open yet. They might have to wait until the 68th, 69th minute to do so.
Mirkovic able to switch the field. Pekovic now coming forward. Gets it to the feet of Reyna. Reyna is able to turn Javi. Cuts back now for the cross. He puts the shot right on the goalkeeper, and it's saved.
The word so many scouts around the country use to describe Gio Reyna is smooth, and he looked it there. How good must that have felt to sit a Real Madrid defender onto his butt like that?
Giovanni Reyna, of course, the son of Claudio Reyna, one of the most talented players in U.S. national team history. Reyna, more of a central midfielder, played out wide at times, so there's a high boot there.
Decision for the referee here. He had his studs up, waist high. Either card would be fair.
And he's going to give neither.
He's really going to give neither, huh?
No.
There it is.
So yellow card coming here for Alvaro. But Bobby, you watched Gio Reyna play, and you mentioned smooth. Doesn't have breakaway speed, but he's long, he's silky, he's comfortable. And what's the most fun to watch with him is how calm he is. It seems like the ball comes to his feet and the whole game slows down for everyone out there.
And you can't have a possession-based approach without an attacker like that. Someone who can just feel the rhythm of a game and play fast when the game needs to be played fast and play slow when the game gets too hectic. Reyna is the player that's always willing to take the responsibility. When everyone else is under pressure, he's glad to take the ball and release it.
Jasson loses the ball. A break coming here once again for Real. And Rando out off his line quickly to clear that one away.
Great read by Rando. That's what most teams need in 2018. They need aggressive goalkeepers to come off their line, and Rando did it so well.
And one of the things we've talked about a little bit, but the wind at your back gives you that chance to keep the ball in the attacking half, but it also kills long balls for when you're going into the wind. And so goalkeepers have to be aware that some of these balls are going to die outside their box, and we've seen some goalkeepers sit back and get hurt.
Yeah, playing into the wind fits a counter-attacking style because you can overhit balls above the opposition's backline or behind their backline and trust the wind's going to hold it up and allow your striker to get onto it.
A battle now, Marcos and Pekovic. This one falls to Mirkovic, looking for the run all the way through there of Raisizi. Raisizi, Jimenez, and Gio Reyna have rotated through those front three throughout these opening 20 minutes. Still alive on the ball is Dator. And now a foul will go against Real Madrid. A little frustration there for the young Spanish central midfielder.
Joe Scally, so athletic, so hard to get off the ball. Once he gets his body between the player and where the player wants to go, it's always going to be tough for the attacker to get to a spot.
Bobby, we had a chance to watch Columbus Crew SC this morning, and we talked about top-down approach from Greg Berhalter's team through this academy. When you look at this NYCFC team, do you see Patrick Vieira's fingerprints?
For sure. Patrick Vieira has really brought the next level of possession and passing to Major League Soccer. He's really been a pioneer in the league, saying, I trust my guys to pass in all situations, and we're going to build everything we do off of possession style, and it feels like this U17 team is doing the same.
Jasson can't get that ball through, and now Raisizi in an offside position on the deflection. As I mentioned, Atletico Paranaense, a 1-0 win over Sporting KC in the dying minutes just before this one kicked off. So Paranaense on 6 points, first in the group. Real Madrid second on 3 points. If NYCFC can get a win here, they'd move into a tie for second place. Only first place in each group goes through to the semifinals. We will have the final day of action tomorrow here on MLSsoccer.com, here at the Toyota Soccer Center, as because of what we're expecting, bad weather, they've moved that game up. So, Bobby, no days off in between day 2 and day 3 of this competition.
Which made losing that first game for NYCFC even more important, because now, even though they have a game tomorrow, today is also a decider. They couldn't rest players going into their final group game.
Grete can't shield that ball out. Good battle between he and Marcos. Marcos not able to beat him on the end line.
He went for it, though. He went for the Meg.
If you're a fullback and you come forward, you got to take advantage. Grete. This foul will go against NYCFC.
NYCFC struggling in the last few minutes. Not able to get on the ball, not really able to get into any kind of rhythm through their midfield. And Dave, I don't have a great answer as to why that is, but this is one of the nice things about this tournament. It's high-level competition. It forces 15, 16, 17-year-olds to answer tough questions on the fly.
These are the best players. All these players will compete against all year. Also players they're not familiar with, which is a key to this competition. A lot of these teams play in the same groups of qualifying, same USDA, maybe even the same CONCACAF teams over and over again in national team setups, as this is onside here for Dotar. He's trying to get to the end line. Scally beats him there and clears it away.
Scally, once again, so tough to beat 1v1.
I mean, what does it bring, homegrown guy? You've got that MLS deal. You're on the board of that first team. You come down and play here. How does he handle it? How does it affect his teammates?
It's definitely one of the themes of the week. One thing we say about the first teams in Major League Soccer is you need to hit on your designated players and your big TAM money guys. You need to make sure they play well, and it's the same at the youth level. If you have a first-team player who's essentially your designated player at the under-17 age group, you need him to play well. And you can expect why it's hard for these 17-year-olds to do so. They think they've made it. They think they've accomplished something, or they're too good for the age group, and maybe they don't work as hard, or they're not as focused. And it's so important to make sure they're in the right mindset so you can get the most out of them.
It's been one of the biggest talking points for the coaches we've talked to here so far in this competition is, how do I continue to get young players who have a lot of deficiencies but a lot of talent to still improve and still have that drive?
So many young players think they sign on the dotted line and they've accomplished something in life. They forget that what got them to that dotted line was just pure hard work to begin with.
Negrete a little bit fortunate there as he had a bad first touch but was able to recover. Lammers has been steady so far at left center back in this one.
It's been an impressive minute here, David. NYCFC's had the ball and Real Madrid tried to press. NYCFC looked calm.
Mirkovic able to turn out of pressure and just plays too long for Reyna. Reyna not happy there, it looks like, with the attempt. But for Mirkovic to be able to turn through two defenders there shows that high-level ability. And Bobby, I'd argue when you look at this team from front to back, I think it's one of the most solid across the board in terms of technical ability, technical talent. So there aren't many weak spots as that ball moves around.
Every player on this team can play with the ball at his feet. You know what else this group has? It has variety as well. They're not just little guys who like to play with the ball at their feet. They also have the athletic Joe Scally who can get wide. They've got Gioran who can beat you 1v1.
Mirkovic, one of the tallest players on the field. He's that steady holding midfielder who's looking to spray it sideline to sideline.
Top to bottom, it's just a team with so much balance.
Yassin trying to get into the box here. Slid away by Javi. Reyna over to help. And Marcos will try and clear this one out of his half. That one just outside the reach of Mirkovic. And now Real Madrid are out on the break. The Spanish Giants looking to open this game up. Still 0-0 here. It was Latasa making the run on the far side. And Javi there playing out of pressure. Alvaro cuts in field. But Alcazar steps up and closes down that attack.
That's twice Mirkovic has been pulled out of the center. Got eased out by Real Madrid's passing away from his protection zone in front of the center backs. Something he needs to keep an eye on because Real Madrid could take advantage of that if he does it again.
Was that him following the wrong runners, making the wrong defensive decision, or just floating out of the game?
Just floating away from his designated spot. He wants to put pressure on the ball, and you can't blame him for that. But you always have to balance as a defensive midfielder. Do I need to get pressure on the ball? Do I need to create a pocket? Or do I need to stay in this single most important part of the field, which is right in front of my center back, so that somebody can't pick up the ball and run at them?
Pekovic maybe a little fortunate there as Lammers put him in a tough spot in that midfield area. You can hear the wind blowing through the Toyota Soccer Center here, coming from behind that NYCFC goal. We've got one more game after this one for you, FC Dallas against Pachuca. Those two going back-to-back, so there's no need to go anywhere on MLSsoccer.com. You can just roll straight on over to that one. FC Dallas, a 2-1 win against Monaco on day one. They beat Pachuca down in Mexico City in the 2017 Liga MX International Championship. So a nice little bit of rivalry, and can guarantee the crowd and the players are going to be up for that one over on Field 4.
And David, it feels like this game has hit a little bit of a lull right now, that both teams are lacking in energy. We talked about it earlier in the day with the Columbus Crew. You can't blame 17-year-old kids for not being focused every single day, especially in the middle game. You're so amped for that first game. You're so excited for the third game, which is often the decider to move on, that the second game, and this has been true throughout the years, is often the game when teams just feel that they didn't show up ready to play.
When we talk about when you get touches, when you pass the ball, the joy that you get, the enjoyment that you get, it just seems like right now NYCFC, they're not as clean as they'd like to be. And so a lot of these players who are normally into the game, they feel the movement, they're one pass away at all times. It seems like right now they just are all feeling like they're out of the game.
And playing a team like Real Madrid will certainly frustrate them more than playing their regular teams around New York and New Jersey. And a lot of that goes to the occasion that right now NYCFC is out of their comfort zone because they're not dominated as much as they usually would.
This ball coming down the left wing. It was knocked away from Julio, and it'll be a throw-in in favor of the Madridistas. This Real Madrid side, of course, one of the giants of the Spanish game, although some would argue maybe they're not a team that's built through their youth. A number of players that have come through, though, to the first team. And Lucas Vasquez, Asensio, as well as Danny Carvajal.
I was worried you were going to put Casemiro in that list.
They claim Casemiro, of course, Brazilian international, who came to Real Madrid when he was 22 years old, played 1 year with Real B. They consider that youth development.
I mean, some would say Tommy McNamara came through the NYCFC.
I would say to each his own. To each his own, because, you know, Jordan Morris, developed by the Seattle Sounders. A chance now. Rando makes the big save. Latas keeps it alive for his squad. Marcos curls one in. It's alive on the top of the box, and Rando brings it in cleanly.
Rando comes up big in another key moment. And sometimes as a goalkeeper, the only thing you can do is make yourself as big as possible. You try and cut the angle, and then you just make your arms and your legs and your torso as big and tall as possible to cut out all the angles, and that's exactly what Rando did on that.
NYCFC still looking to steady themselves. Real Madrid would love to score one against the run of play here in the first half. This one will bounce through once again. The offside flag did go up. I believe it was against Javi.
What happened to let him play, David? Why are they stopping it? He had the ball.
Rando will take it quickly. NYCFC falling 3-0 in their first game. They've got to find their feet here, Bobby, in the second. We haven't seen the pace of play for them. We haven't seen the flow or the possession that really makes this team tick. And you got to mention that Justin Hack picked up that red card. He is one of the metronomes in that central midfield. Gio Reyna trying to get it done. Petkovic now coming forward. Clips it down the line. Jimenez gets everything under that ball, unfortunately.
You know what made all the difference there? You alluded to Justin Hack, And one of the reasons NYC has been struggling to get it off their back four and into the attack is it's all been on Mirkovic to come find the ball. That time, Petkovic dropped and he created a second option, a second angle for the center backs. He got on the ball and they played out. Hopefully Petkovic reads that moment and continues to do it.
Charging forward now is Marcos. Fullback has been very active. Negrete can't keep that one in. Marcos wearing the captain's armband. Is it into Latas? Latas goes for the back heel. Can't find a teammate. Now Jimenez trying to sneak one in for Reyna. And he won't find that mark. Another play where we were really looking forward to seeing was Jason in that midfield three as well. Plays as the more attacking player. He has not gotten touches over these first 30 minutes.
He hasn't. He needs to take more of an initiative to do so. Sometimes in a game, you really have to just understand when your team needs you. And this is a moment, as we said, the duty is falling on Mirkovic every single time to get it off the back four. And at some point, Jason needs to say, hey, Mirkovic, I'll come get it. You fade away, I'll come into a good spot, I'll alleviate the pressure for you.
Petkovic put his goalkeeper in a very tough situation. Rando's able to handle it in the end. And now Mirkovic once again looking to restart the attack. NYCFC have been pinned back for most of this first half, looking for a little bit of room. Rasizi down the right side. He has it poked away. And then Dotor loses that one out of bounds.
Interesting to see the contrast in approach between NYCFC and Sporting Kansas City, Real Madrid's last opponent. When Sporting Kansas City got pressed like this from Real Madrid, they would play one pass to a center back and the next pass would be a long diagonal into the channel trying to get over the Real Madrid center backs. NYCFC conversely has tried to keep it on the ground every single time to get out.
Benalcazar stepping forward into the midfield now. Mirkovic swapping spots with him, switches the field. Negrete's touch is a little bit long. He recovers. Petkovic now coming to the ball. Chance to turn upfield here for Jimenez. Into the feet of Reyna. Benalcazar will go wide for Scally. NYCFC starting to find a little bit of space here towards the attacking third. Scally now coming forward. And that one cleared off of Jason and out for a goal kick, but the best piece of play there from NYCFC we've seen over the last 15 minutes.
David, who would you say has been the most active attacker for NYCFC so far?
I'd have to say it would be Reyna. Not by a lot, but he has come back. He has found the ball in other spots to try and start the attack.
I would have said it was Jimenez, just trying to get on the ball. And I was going to point out to the fact that good player Jimenez, but of the 5 options up there, if NYCFC is going to beat Real Madrid, they need Reyna to get on the ball more, and they need Jason to get on the ball more.
Yeah, I don't think Reyna's seen enough of it. And we've seen those 3 attackers rotating spots. Everyone's trying to get comfortable. Benalcazar was a veteran of this team last year at the GA Cup, as was Joe Scally, Giovanni Reyna, and Petkovic.
Interesting to see the adjustment here by NYC. Mirkovic is now the one dropping to the center back position with Benalcazar moving to defensive midfield.
I don't think it's on purpose because Benalcazar is trying to get Mirkovic to move up the field, and he finally does.
I was about to give him credit there.
Yeah.
I was like, look at this creative movement from the center back.
Long ball over the top. Reyna chasing the goalkeeper out. Can't use his hands. And then finally pushed away there in the end by Ribera. So finally NYCFC goes and tries to attempt a long ball over the top. Real Madrid now pushing back the other way.
Good read by Benalcazar. Took a huge risk stepping there instead of dropping. He had to win it, but he did.
This one easily handled by Lammers, who had dropped off that forward line, but turns it over. So tries to get back in possession. Now a chance for NYCFC to move up the field. Reyna into the feet of Petkovic, who switches the field.
And we talked about Reyna's ability as the attacking player to feel the rhythm of the game. You saw that one-touch pass. That is what NYC has been needing, David. They've needed to change the rhythm at times. Once they get Real Madrid to come in pressure, get on the ball, one touch, make it a little quicker to break through the lines, that's exactly what we expect to see from Gio Reyna.
How does Rodrigo Marion, in a few moments, express this to his team going into the second half?
Marion, from the sideline, will have been able to see Real Madrid's press, been able to see their movement defensively, and then he can provide some of the ideas for the NYCFC players. He'll be able to build some of the patterns on the whiteboard. For example, in the second half for SKC, as Real Madrid continued to press, the gap opened up in front of the back four. The center mids would step with the press, the back four would remain on the midfield line, and Marion watched film of that game, and he'll remind his NYCFC players.
On the flip side, Manuel Fernandez, the head coach of this Real Madrid team, he's got to be happy with the way they've played in this first half. Now with the wind at their back in the second half, how do they handle this game?
He'll tell them more of the same. They had a game plan coming in, sit, pick their moments to press, to wait, and hit NYCFC on the counter. If Real Madrid had been a little cleaner, they would have had a goal or two. So the halftime talk from Real Madrid will be more of the same.
Well, we've got one more half coming up for you here at Field 8. We've got one more game coming up for you here as you look at the replays of this first half. No goals either way. These two teams still looking to break this one open. A couple big saves by Rando in goal for NYCFC. Not a whole lot of pressure on Ribera throughout that first half. We've seen Latas, the center forward for this Real Madrid team, be dangerous. But myself and Bobby Warshaw will be back with the second half of this one. We've also got FC Dallas versus Pachuca on Field 4. The crowd's going to be out for a game that matters a lot for those two teams, and two more Premier Division games coming up at the end of the day. So stick here to MLSsoccer.com. Welcome back for the second half at Field 8, the Toyota Soccer Center. We are ready for this one. NYCFC against Real Madrid, locked in 0-0 after the first half. David Goss and Bobby Warshaw joining you for this one. It looks like the rain is going to hold off. Nice, cool, about 65 degrees here. The wind has been up and down as it will now blow from behind the Real Madrid goal, from right to left across the field. Real Madrid out here and they're all whites with the blue numbers. As NYCFC comes back out in their blue jerseys with their orange numbers. Bobby, this NYCFC team dominated possession in their first game here at this tournament. Even when they went man down, they still played the ball on the ground. They still created chances. It was flat for them in that first half. What are you looking for from them in these first 5 or 10 minutes?
I'll be watching the balance they have between urgency and composure, because NYCFC needs to win this game, but if they go for the win too early, if they stress about getting the goal too soon, it plays into Real Madrid's hands. Real Madrid came into this game willing to wait and pounce on a counterattack, and if NYCFC opens themselves up, that's exactly what Real Madrid wants, and they could get the one goal they need.
Real Madrid trying to go with the big ball down the wing for the fullback Julio right off the kickoff. They'll now have the ball on their side. A quick yellow card coming here for Joe Scally. Our head official, Alton, will give that one to him.
I don't know why he was so eager to give that one and so hesitant to give the exact same one 20 minutes ago.
And you could see the benches get up and yell. Maybe you want to keep the emotion from everyone down, right? Get it out quickly. Don't let anyone complain. But I think it's a clear one here, Bobby, on the replay. Studs up.
Yeah, he came in high. You're right. The referee at some point just needs to show that he's in charge, so maybe that's why he came in so hot with that card.
We have seen some really hard tackles over the course of this day, especially here in the Champions Division, where you see, a lot of older players coming from the international teams and MLS teams. You see here players born in 2002 and 2001, so some younger players, and then also just the intensity that you have to play with. You only have 3 games. You only get 70 minutes a game to try and make a difference.
You can definitely feel a different intensity about these Champions Division games. More on the line. These teams have waited all year for this single competition. As you said, it comes down to the 3 games, and they want the trophy. It's nice to have a championship on the line.
You see the Real Madrid, and you just feel Champions League, and you want to say it, Bobby, and you wanted to say it so bad. Alvaro will take the free kick. It's headed down at the near post.
David, I still tell my friends about the time I beat Inter Milan and PSV and Ajax when I was 16. That still comes up at the bars with my friends.
Real Madrid, one of those names that these NYCFC players will, 1, never forget, and 2, hope that they face off again at some point in their careers, of course. They'll all be big fans of David Villa, who did Real Madrid some serious damage throughout his time in Spain. Real Madrid now with the win. You'd expect we'll have a bit more of the possession, whether that's in their favor or not. Ribera blasts this one long.
Good recognition by Jason there. As the ball goes back, bouncing, Real Madrid forced towards their own goal. It's an opportunity to press.
And we didn't see Real Madrid in enough possession for NYCFC really to press at all in that first half. See if they can change that up here in the second. Pekovic with the back heel. Negrete into the feet of Jimenez. Jimenez almost turns it over. He keeps possession and earns a foul. And one of the big things we talked about at halftime, Bobby, was, 1, helping Mirkovic in that midfield, bringing him an ally, but also getting Giovanni Reyna the ball a little bit more.
Yeah, the biggest thing NYCFC needs right now is getting a second person to help get the ball off the center backs. Missing Justin Hawk in there. Petkovic hasn't been able to find the angles or find the positions to help relieve pressure off the center backs. Whether that's going to be Petkovic or Jason or Reyna is something that Rodrigo Marion, head coach of NYCFC, would have discussed at halftime.
NYCFC a 3-0 loss in their first game. Got a lot of room to make up right now. They've got a chance to do it. If they can get a win here, Real Madrid would go face off against Atletico Paranaense. If Real Madrid won that game and NYCFC won, it'd be a possibility that this squad could go through. As this ball gets slipped in, Vasi curls one to the far post, off the woodwork and into the safe hands of Rando. We haven't seen much from one of these 2 forwards for Real Madrid in this game, in Vasi. And Bobby, he almost opens this game up.
That ball floated in the air forever, didn't it? Felt like that was going to go in from the moment it left his foot, and NYCFC off the hook when it hit the post.
So Real Madrid starting to open up now, looking for the first goal in this game. Does that give some room for NYCFC to play into? Or will Real Madrid be too lethal for NYCFC to hold back?
That movement by Joe Scally should be a cue for what's going to give NYCFC some success this second half. Having him pass and follow his pass on the right back position to get out of their back four posture.
Coming forward now is Javi. Into the feet of Julio. Scally closes on him. The battle of the two fullbacks.
David, it feels like it's a game where New York needs Joe Scally to step up, and he's going to be the one to break the game open. Each team is so locked in the middle, so methodical in what they're doing that it's going to need a bit of flair from a wide area to make a difference.
Another free kick coming here. And it looks like the head official will talk to Julio, but no call made. Or no card given, at least, for NYCFC. 5 minutes played here in this first half. Have you seen what you wanted from this NYCFC club, from these young players? Have you seen that energy? Have you seen maybe the belief?
Not as much as I'd like to see. I can't say it's been bad.
Yeah.
I can't say any of the kids on the field have had a bad performance. But that's what's great about GA Cup. You play a team like Real Madrid, and you need to be better than just okay. You have to step up. You have to say, hey, Gio Reyna, we've heard so much about you for 2 years now. This is your moment.
There hasn't been that pop in this game. There's been some good ideas, but not great ideas. There's been some good passes, but it hasn't been as clean as we've seen in the past from NYCFC. And you wonder how much of that is affected by the nerves playing against such a big team and by the quality of Real Madrid.
David, we just watched the LA Galaxy U17s play right before this against Monaco. We heard their head coach Brian Kleiban use a great line. One of his players had just made a mistake, and he said, hey, you want to play at the international level? This is what it's like. That's an international team. Figure it out.
Coming down the field now, Julio easily steps in and steals that one.
And I just thought that was a powerful lesson to tell these 17-year-olds to say, hey, if this is what you want to do for a living, this is what it's going to feel like often. It's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to be confused, and you've got to find a way to get through it.
The steal by Pekovic in the open field. Reyna cuts across. This one goes wide now for Jimenez. Jimenez coming back in. Pekovic now has space. The left-footed shot goes over everything.
Fantastic movement by Gio Reyna there. Made the run to create space for his teammate, thinking to step down the line, knowing that if he peeled away, his teammate could get the ball, and then he would be open on the second layer. It didn't come off, but those are the little movements that first-team coaches are looking for.
And Bobby, it's funny because we were standing separate watching the LA Galaxy game. We were both struck by that line from Brian Kleiban of just saying, this is what it's like. It's not easy at the highest level. And I thought the LA Galaxy played a really good game, and they lost 4-1. Every mistake they made was punished.
And you know what? I'm worried about saying it, but it felt like a lot like this game, didn't it?
Yeah. That game had a lot more chances that the Galaxy struggled to finish. But yes, they were going toe-to-toe. As we see Jimenez go down in the box here, and a goal kick pointed for.
That wasn't a penalty? You didn't give a penalty?
No, it was a goal kick.
How can you tell the difference?
Our head official, Mark Alton. He's got his assistant, John Krill, and Eric Elliott to help him out with that one.
Oh yeah, Jimenez might have actually just fallen on his own there. Good call by the referee.
Bobby Warshaw now in favor of referees.
To the surprise of everyone I grew up playing with.
Scally there down the line for Reyna. In a foot race here with Santos. Santos just puts it straight out.
We talked at the start of the half about the urgency from New York, and it feels like it's coming now, doesn't it, David?
And it's coming through this right wing. As you mentioned, Joe Scally and Giovanni Reyna, two of the most experienced, or at least talented players on this team. Scally's cross goes in. Jimenez felt like his jersey was getting pulled, but he gets called for the foul going over the top.
And talking to one of the top scouts in the country about this NYCFC team, one thing he did say was that Gio Reyna is one of the best in the MLS academies at taking over a game. He has a killer instinct. It can be both good and bad. It can get him into trouble at times, a little bit of a temperament. But it feels like a game when it's going to need that moment from a special player.
And Giovanni Reyna, we've seen willingness to take on defenders, ability to take one, at times 2 or 3 defenders out of the play, which can do just enough to shift the point of attack and give their team a chance at a goal. This one comes wide for Scally. Scally looking into the feet there of Raisizi, puts him in a bad place. Now Dotor pushing back the other way. He goes down the wing for the fullback, Julio. Left-footed cross comes in, and Rando able to clean it up.
Strange to see the low cross there when Latasa was in the middle.
You see Julio willingly pushing forward, Bobby. These fullbacks, Marcos and Julio, have been a very big part of this Real Madrid attack. Is there any way, if you're NYCFC, that you find a way to try and take advantage of that on the counter? Doesn't exactly fit the NYCFC style.
There might be a way, David, but I don't see it in this game. It's not going to be something that's on NYCFC's mind.
And they don't play very wide. Everyone really likes to cut in and interchange. Their fullbacks are really the only one giving them width. It seems like these two teams very similar going at each other. We got the substitutions coming on now for Real Madrid. So it looks like Rodriguez comes on for Madrid. And as does Mendoza.
So fast from Real Madrid. Dude, we talked about 30 minutes ago at Mirkovic leaving the zone in front of the back four. And for the first and probably only time all game, here he is in his attacking 18, trying to make something happen. What happens? He loses the ball, and down on the other end, Real Madrid almost get an opportunity. And that's what happens with these top teams around the world. They're just so ruthless at taking advantage of your mistakes. So as NYCFC pushes for the goal that they need so badly, that could be what happens. They need to do it with intelligence and caution.
Bobby, I think the most dangerous player on the field throughout this game has been Latasa. He subs off here. If you're an NYCFC center back, you got to breathe a little bit. Mendoza coming on in his place, not the same sort of size,
but more pace. Instead of going for the target and Latasa on the crosses, they're trying to find pace to catch NYCFC on the break. And a big, big save by Rando again. He comes out, he cuts out the angle. He's just trying to make his body as large as possible.
And now NYCFC looking to break. Yasin goes wide for Reyna. Reyna gets to the end line and his cross is saved in the end. But this game's starting to open up, Bobby. Chances on both sides.
And Reyna growing in confidence. NYCFC needs to be careful. But at some point the game needs to open up because they need the chances.
Bobby, NYCFC, they need 3 points. They need a win. This can't end in a tie. It can't go to PKs for them. At what point do you maybe start to panic a little bit or at least change what you're doing?
Every coach approaches this differently, David. I've always felt that you want to leave it a little later. Trust your system. The reason you have the style you have is that you believe you can win the game, and a lot of the times coaches switch too early and they get caught on the break. If you believe in your system, keep it, and you really don't make an adjustment until the last 8 to 10 minutes.
We also mentioned, but day 3 of the group stage will be tomorrow because of an expected weather problem. So these players that play heavy minutes here are going to have to potentially turn around and start a game in less than 24 hours.
They can't think about that right now, though. I mean, you're right. They do have a game in 24 hours. Coaches have to worry about winning right now, especially if you're New York City. And Real Madrid, they don't want to drop points and have to go for a big win against Paranaense. So yes, you're exactly right. They have another big game 24 hours later, but they need to live in the moment and figure out how to win this game right now.
NYCFC making their first change of the game. David Alino, a backup forward, coming on the field. I believe he came on for Yasin.
Gio Reyna dropping deeper now into one of the midfield three. Head coach Rodrigo Marion trying to get him on the ball more.
Alino more of a forward, so we can see maybe he pushes higher up the field. As you said, Reyna drops in. Yasin, Bobby, one of the players we'd heard a lot about, we were very excited to see. He'd become a more integral part of the system, but really couldn't get his foot on the ball today.
He couldn't. This is what is so hard about scouting younger players and trying to anticipate how they'll do at the professional level, because once the game gets harder, you don't know how they'll be. You don't know how they'll adjust, how they'll get on the ball. Jasin, a very good player, but did not have a big impact on the game today.
See if Reyna can do a little bit more in a similar position. It looks like Raisizi will play up at that center forward spot right now. So about 20 minutes left to play here in this one. 70-minute games, 35-minute halves. 70-minute halves would be fun. 140-minute games.
And if you're a possession team, David, a lot of what you do builds to these last 15, 20 minutes of a game because you're trying to wear the other team out. As you pass from center back to center back, the Real Madrid defense and midfield and forwards have to shift 5, 10 yards. They're doing doggies back and forth. So you might not break them down in the 5th or the 10th minute, but you're hoping you tire them out for those last 10.
We've also talked about setting plays up, getting Real Madrid to think consistently, okay, they're going to play that simple pass square so I can start to step to that ball, and then maybe you take advantage and try and play something through that back line or over that back line.
The only trigger I see for that could work would be Scally wide here. It doesn't feel like NYCFC has set much up and created many lanes, except perhaps getting Real Madrid to get a little more compact, which creates area wide for Joe Scally.
Scally not playing in the first game, as he was training with the first team. But a chance now to try and lead this young team. They're going to have to dodge a bullet here. There's a big free kick coming up now for Real Madrid. The wind at their back. A chance to drive this one into the box. Everyone forward for this one. And Javi and Santos, the two center backs. As well as the big midfielders in Dotor.
If NYCFC can win this first header, or if the free kick doesn't get over the first defender, there's an opportunity for a counter here. If you count the wall plus Raisizi, it's 3v3 on the attack if NYCFC gets a hold of it.
Alvaro drills it. He puts it on frame. It's both saved and a free kick goes in New York's favor.
Such a bad foul call by the referee because they had the advantage. That's the exact moment we're talking about. Rando gets the ball in his hands. If he goes quickly, it's 3v3 at the midfield line. The referee there needs to feel the moment.
Also not great service there from Alvaro, kind of wasting that opportunity. Rando sprays it wide. Real Madrid pressing high. We haven't seen a lot of that in this game. Marcos puts it out of bounds, so Negretti will throw it in. Real Madrid, do you think, happy with the way this game's going? Going to try and push to change things too much, or try and keep it consistent?
Real Madrid could also use the win. A tie is fine because it allows them to go and win tomorrow. But overall, they should feel good about this performance so far. They've been mostly in control. NYCFC has had possession, but the game's been played on Real Madrid's terms.
Mirkovic floats this one up. Chance now one-on-one here in some dangerous space. And the tackle made in the end by Javi. It was Alino, a substitute, who was trying to open that one up.
Very nicely defended by Javi, a tall defender, but did well with the pacey attacker running at him.
Alvaro.
Oh, you cannot commit a foul there. This is what you've been waiting for all game, a chance to counter-press and win the ball in a good spot. And they let Real Madrid off the hook by committing a foul.
NYCFC, a 3-0 loss in their first game. Real Madrid, a 2-0 win over Sporting KC in their first game. Atletico Paranaense, a 1-0 win over Sporting KC just before this game kicked off here at Toyota Soccer Center. That means this is a must-win game for NYCFC. Real Madrid could definitely use the points as well to stay in the driver's seat for first place. I'm David Goss, alongside Bobby Warshaw here for the 2018 Generation Adidas Cup, Premier Youth Soccer Tournament here in North America.
David, let's walk through the scenarios for Real Madrid if this is a draw.
So if it is a draw, we will go to penalty kicks. The loser will get 1 point. The winner will get 2 points. So no matter what happens, Real Madrid will be in a situation where if they win against Paranaense, they go through as winners of the group to the semifinals.
Is there a scenario when they can...
Alino cutting in here on his right foot, and he puts it past Ribeiro! The substitute off the bench breaks it open as NYCFC have their first lead of the Generation Adidas Cup.
And this is what we've been saying. This felt for the entire 60 minutes so far that it was going to need a single moment of magic, and Alino provides it. Coming in from the wide channel. This is why you play with inverted wingers. You have a right-footed player on the left side. He comes in and in stride. Such a beautiful finish back at the near post. That is a special moment from the substitute and exactly what his team needed.
And an unbelievable celebration to boot on the end of that one there from Alino. Getting his dance on there with Jimenez. Bobby, we've seen Alino now already once, that ability to bring that ball down. We saw his willingness to take the man on, but this time he finally gets in field, and there's no help defensively from the two center backs, and Alino gets the shot away.
And this is what's hard about playing international competition at the age of 17 when you don't have scouting reports, you don't have video. Real Madrid probably doesn't know the pace and skill that Alino, they probably don't even know that he's right-footed, not left-footed. And Alino took full advantage, running straight at the defender and not slowing down. But such a crucial few minutes for NYCFC here. They got their goal, but they had been on the front foot, the proactive team, trying to keep possession, trying to score the entire game, and now they have to adjust their mindset. Now they've got to lock it down for 15 minutes.
Chance now for Real Madrid back the other way. And that one's just wide.
There, we saw it happen. That's exactly what NYCFC cannot allow. To give up a chance like that after scoring is a cardinal sin. And we could talk all the tactics we want, David, but I can't stress enough how difficult it is to change your mindset. To go from saying, we need a goal, keep attacking, it's going to come, and now to say, be conservative, buckle down the hatchets. They certainly need to make tactical adjustments, but the biggest part of this is making the mental recognition of what's at hand.
A high boot there. Rodriguez, the substitute, will pick up a yellow card. A substitution right after the goal. It looked like Veljko Petkovic's afternoon is done. Coleman Kim coming on in place of him. Kim was here at this competition last year, been a part of this team for a while, so he'll go directly into that central midfield. Two more substitutes coming for this Real Madrid team. Rodriguez and Martin coming on. Getting ready to come on at least.
Dude, we talk about killing the game, and here Joe Scalli's on the ground. In that LA Galaxy-Monaco game that preceded this one, when Monaco was up just a goal with about 5 minutes left, they had a player going out with cramps near the sideline. And one of his teammates, as he was trying to get the cramp out of his calf, pulled his teammate back onto the field to ensure that the referee had to wait and they had to kill time. And as we watch NYCFC try and close out these last 12 minutes of this game, are they willing to do those things? We talk about American soccer and the growth of soccer in this country. Monaco got that win. They saw out the 3 points. Are those things that we're willing to do and we're willing to teach in our development academies? I don't have a right answer.
But Bobby, You lose your first game 3-0. You're in a tournament setting. If you're NYCFC, are you battening down the hatches here, or are you still pushing?
It's a good question.
Rando comes flying out there to clear it. And this was something that I found interesting, talking to Rodrigo Marion about the first game when they were trailing 1-0 and went down a man. He said, the way we play is we continue to push. We go for goals. We want the win. Do they adjust here being up 1-0?
And that answer surprised both of us.
Yeah.
They need, first and foremost, they need the 3 points. Nothing else matters unless they get 3 points out of this game. And certainly they would rather take their chances to make sure they get a 1-0 win here and hope that Real Madrid can also go into their next game against Paranaense and get 3 points because they need it. I mean, it goes into a scenario where each game on the final day matters and a lot of teams need to win.
Scally clears that one. Well, it looks like Rodriguez, who picked up that yellow card, will come back and play at left back, and Martin will play at left midfield. That one just a little bit too far for Jimenez, but the wind's going to hang it up. Dominguez gets his feet right to get a clearance away. Now this ball put over the heads of everyone. Dotor dancing all the way to the end line to save it. He's got Martin back for support. Martin now cuts in field on Markovic, trying to get back to his left foot. He's able to save it. Now a chance for Dotor to play the ball in. His cross to the far post outside the reach of Rando, but safely rolls out for a goal kick. It just seems like if you're NYCFC, you've been on the ball. You haven't been able to create chances, but defensively, you can keep possession. You can control the tempo of this game these final 10 minutes.
I'm all about possession, David, but if you're Rodrigo Marion, if you're the captain, Benalcazar, do you feel your possession has been sharp enough tonight that you're not going to give a ball away and give an easy goal to Real Madrid?
I don't know. I think that's definitely a great question.
I mean, especially with 17-year-olds where we talk about development. Do you force them to learn?
Raisisi now making a run through 4 players. The ball deflects back off of him. No call made. Kim with the colliding tackle. And it's finally cleared all the way up the field. You'll see this wind really start to affect this game if Real Madrid starts going more direct as they trail later and later in this second half. Tackle made in the open field. I think the foul came a bit earlier, and then some frustration from the substitute Fernandez, who pushes Nagarte.
So David, all the research we did before this, we heard about a lot of outfield players, attacking midfielders, wingers. People weren't that high on the goalkeepers, but so far goalkeeper's been very good. Rando, probably the most important player for New York today.
I can definitely agree with that one. Some of these games get a little bit odd with mistakes in weird places, the wind as well, and I think a lot of the goalkeepers have adjusted well to those moments.
And so we are coming here with the wind, expect them to aim it at the back post, so the pace and whip and wind will all take it on goal.
Dominguez getting a talking to. Dotor lining up the shot. It's intercepted there by Raisisi, and now Reyna looking to lead the counterattack. It's tackled away by Fernandez. Reyna just couldn't get that last touch right to slide it through for Raisisi. And this will be a corner kick now coming for Real Madrid. The final few minutes of this one, do not forget, we've got one more for you. FC Dallas against Pachuca, the home team, one of the most dangerous teams in this tournament, one of the favorites coming up playing against Mexican opposition. This corner kick's played at the near post. Pachuca is one of the best academies in Mexico right now. They produced Chucky Lozano, one of the best players in the Mexican national team.
David, NYCFC looks sluggish right now. They got into position on that last corner kick a little slow.
This one's alive in the box. A chance now. Rodriguez lines up the shot, and it's blocked. Looked like Alino getting a piece of it. Real Madrid starting to pour it on here, Bobby. If you're NYCFC, we talked about the problems marking set pieces. We talked about mental mistakes in the box. This right here is a big 5 to 7 minutes. Bouncing in the box. Dotor looking for an opening. He slides it in. Vasi trying to turn. He battles away. And then finally cleared in the end by Lammers.
David, it absolutely is a big 5 minutes. I didn't answer you there because I just want to look at the body language of these New York players. As the ball goes out, after this replay is over, you can see on your screen who's communicating, who's organizing. What is the urgency on their faces? I mean, this is everything on the line right now. Their tournament, their year.
Rando punches off the line.
Rando comes up big again. And I love Gio Reyna kicking the ball away like that. Some people out there will say that's wrong. They'll say that it doesn't have the sportsmanship. But those are little things that get you 3 points.
But also, Bobby, you talked about the game, understanding the game. Gio Reyna was on a breakaway. And you get a foul in your favor if you're NYCFC. Reyna picks up the yellow card now.
Oh, with the referee again calling the foul?
Yeah.
I was trying to let the referee off the hook for a minute, Dave.
Well, Reyna picks up a yellow card, so he was not let off the hook for that one.
Interesting that the fourth official caught it. The referee missed it. The fourth official told the center official that he kicked it away after. Can't get away with anything these days.
NYCFC leading through a goal by their substitute, Rigo Marion, bringing on an extra forward, getting the performance out of David Alino. That is the difference right now for this NYC side.
Rodrigo Marion telling Benalcazar something right now. Benalcazar relaying it to Mirkovic and Lammers.
Bobby, have you been impressed by the way they've tried to kill this game here?
The tactical parts, yes. I'm a little concerned by the lack of, I don't want to say lack of concern, right? I don't want to ever blame players for making it look easy, but sometimes you look at a team in transition moments and you say that they're missing the intensity. They're missing the alertness in that second. And in the last few minutes here, it's vital for Mirkovic to assume his position just in front of Lammers and Benalcazar.
Nagarty being helped off here. Bobby, I think he's had a good game so far for this team at left back. I'd say defensively, you have to like what you've seen from NYCFC.
Absolutely. They've kept Real Madrid at bay, particularly on everything except a counter. I mean, has Real Madrid had an opportunity on goal that didn't come from a counterattack?
I do not believe so, although there was the one chance that hit the post for Vasi, which was in a little bit, no one was really in possession at that time.
So yes, if NYCFC gets numbers behind the ball, gets organized, they have looked good and they should feel good about their chances of seeing out this game.
For Real Madrid, you didn't feel like they ever really hit full gear against Sporting KC. What do you see from them now over the course of 2 games?
This is the exact same performance. Sporting KC didn't have as much of the ball and gave a few bad balls away, which gave more opportunity to Real Madrid. But pretty much the same from Real Madrid. They sat deep, they pressured a little bit, but it was mostly about trying to get opportunities on the counterattack.
So it'll be Tavon Gray coming on here, place of the injury. Tavon Gray, we thought would start at center back, and Nico Benalcazar would start at left back. It looks like Gray now will come on at center back, so Benalcazar will slide out wide. Gray will play at right back. It looks like Scally swapping wings to go in at left back. Reyna wins the header. NYCFC trying to hang on to the lone goal in this one, to that lead, to go into the final day of competition tomorrow. It's an opportunity to still go through to the semifinals. Every one of these teams will play 5 games here. So the teams that don't go through to the semifinals or final, they will play teams of equal standings So you still want to get as high as you can to play against the highest level competition possible. But Alcazar, not able to guide that one all the way out, has to pick it up.
So good from
Mirkovic now
again.
In pressure, he turns it over. Martin with the left-footed cross. It goes over everyone. Finally, Scally pushes it away, but it's still in the box. A tackle made by Alino and a corner kick coming here. There was a chance maybe at the penalty.
Referee signaling 4 minutes of stoppage time.
Another corner kick comes in. Real Madrid. It's punched away by Rondo. Real Madrid starting to pour on the pressure.
So key for NYCFC to keep their focus and intensity at this point. It's going to come down to a single scrap here in the box. Who is going to get to the ball first?
Long throw comes in. This one on the far post, and Rando gets there first.
No surprise there, I suppose. Been sharp all day.
What a performance in this one for the NYCFC starting goalkeeper, Alex Rando.
David, the referee almost called Rando for holding the ball longer than 6 seconds. He had the whistle in his mouth just when Rando punted it.
And then, in the end, a free kick goes in favor of New York, so a chance for them to take a little bit more air out of this game. NYCFC falling in the first game, leading here in the second. Real Madrid a win in the first game. As we mentioned, Atletico Paranaense already with a victory over Sporting KC, sitting in first place. NYCFC trying to get into a tie with Real Madrid for second. And while goal difference would matter for NYCFC if Real Madrid does beat Paranaense, right now their key is to hang on for 3 points. Santos heads it wide. Get it back up the field. Jimenez slips off that one, and Rodriguez keeps possession for his side. It's been a quiet game for most of that Real Madrid midfield. They haven't really had time to knock the ball around. They haven't really tried too much. Most of the attack's been direct to the two forwards or down the wings for one of the fullbacks. Rodriguez throws it in. Now Santos. He switches the field. All the way back to Dominguez. Center back, the lone player left back for Real. Alvaro looking for an opening.
2 Real Madrid players open at the back post so they can get the cross off.
Right now, NYCFC, all 11 players back behind the ball. This one brought down on the far post by Daltor. And no one there on the far post was able to tap it in. And that may be it for Real Madrid.
Inches away from tying the game. They had numbers on each post. NYCFC not able to deal with the numbers that Real Madrid threw forward. Unclear if that was a shot or a cross, but just out of the reached leg of his teammate. And it comes down to that, David, 72.5 minutes.
Kim blasts the ball out. Real Madrid looking to pump it right back into the box. Alive now once again. Alvaro can't find an opening, and Mirkovic puts it all the way up the field. Arcisi now chasing, and a foul will go against him. Santos.
It's a bad foul by Arcisi.
Santos was trying to shield him off the ball. Arcisi fouls him in open space, so now Ribeiro will push forward. All 11 up the field for Real Madrid. Floated to the far post. Flicked on by Scally and Alino. So that will be it. NYCFC, they had their backs up against the wall the final 10 minutes, but Bobby, the 57th minute goal, hangs on. David Alino gets the winner, for this City squad.
Fantastic result by NYCFC. Just a great performance all around. We talk so much about these MLS Academy teams finding ways to win, about doing more than playing nice soccer. That's exactly what NYCFC did. Full credit to them, and a great substitution by head coach Rodrigo Marion that changed the game.
Well, you see there, David Alino with the lone goal in this one, coming off the bench, comes in on his right foot and slots it in. The Premier Group will finish off tomorrow. We'll be back here with all your streams, all your coverage on MLSsoccer.com. But don't go anywhere, because in just a moment, FC Dallas vs. Pachuca kicking off one field over. So stick here for all of your Generation Adidas Cup action.